Thank you so much.
Very quickly, I'd like to make a quick introduction. I think people from Karnataka know our minister very well. He has a long and illustrious career in the media and especially in film. Comes from a very illustrious family of artists and musicians, and of course has represented us in the Lok Sabha and of course now in the cabinet in Karnataka for a long period of time. So I will just give you a quick introduction to what we're trying to do here, sir. We basically have brought together people from multiple states in the country, from Rajasthan, from Punjab, from Kerala, from Gujarat and from Maharashtra, to try and understand how different states are actually trying to innovate on the theme of affordable housing. This is of course a very important question. Karnataka has been an early innovator in this process, both on the rural side and the urban side. You're now trying, as I understand it, to develop a policy that will enable access and bring in new players, both from the private sector and in the public sector, to be able to scale this. The construction sector is very important in this country because, as we've seen over the last 10 or 15 years, this is one of the only sectors in which we have high output growth, so there's economic output, and there is also employment growth. It's one of the few sectors because manufacturing for the last 10 or 15 years has actually seen a significant decline. So the construction sector is very important, and one of the most important parts of construction sector activity is in the area of housing. But what we're going to do today is to try and examine very critically some of the real constraints we have in the housing sector, of which the most important is availability of land, technology, finance, and at the end of the day, if we are not able to provide employment to a large number of people, then I think we are not doing our work adequately. And finally, if we are able to scale, it will not only help industry, it will also help public sector institutions. But at the end of the day, the critical thing is to reach people who actually find it very difficult to afford an adequate house. And the fundamental constraint there across this country, and I said, Bangalore is a little bit better than many other cities in the country, is the fact that the cost of land and affordable land forces people to live in inadequate conditions. And even though we have many schemes, including the RFI, slum-free cities, etc., the real test of whether we're able to do adequate urban development is if everybody has an adequate house with adequate services for them. And this is a real challenge for us. It means bringing together both public agencies and not only the housing department, but other departments to make that possible. To look at the conversion of rural to peri-urban to urban land, to look at registration of land, and of course to manage the planning process much more effectively. So I'll stop there and I'll request you to speak to us for a brief while.
First, I welcome you all for this one-day roundtable conference organized to discuss about affordable housing. Sri Raman Reddy, Principal Secretary Housing, Government of Karnataka. Sri Honourable Ravi, Director, Indian Institute of Human Settlement. Officers from State Government. Officers from Rajasthan, Kerala and Punjab states. CREDA, there is Confederation of Real Estate Developers Association of India. I welcome you all. As you are aware, housing is a big challenge before the nation, particularly urban housing. Since independence, it is often said that the India lives in its villages. But it is now realized that India also lives in its cities. More than 30% of population is living in urban area. Without adequate and decent shelter, no family can seek to make a better future for the children. They cannot give them proper health, education, and safety. If they don't have shelter, at least for poor of others, they cannot access any government facilities like ration cards, health insurance, and other benefits. It's very difficult that urban local bodies to provide them basic service like water, sanitation, electricity. All the government is striving hard to provide housing for all, especially for urban poor in affordable manner. In this background, Government of India has formulated National Urban Housing Habitat Policy in 2007. Recently, it has brought model state affordable housing policies. Following this, many states have taken the lead in initiate their own policies. Punjab, Kerala, and Rajasthan states leading in adapting their own affordable housing policies. Broadly, these policies aim to initiate and enhance and sustain demand and supply in housing requirements. I'm happy that the government of Karnataka recently adopted Affordable Housing Policy 2013, which is recently approved by the cabinet. Before we start implementing the policy, we feel that it should be discussed in detail between the experts in the field and among all the stakeholders. With this intention, we have organized one day roundtable conference here. I hope the deliberation of this conference will emerge fruitful and will lead to implement the policy in a more effective manner. With these few words, I wish you, the conference, all the success. Thank you, one and all.